All right, we are back on day two. Got a hold of the owner of the LTZ here, and he's wanting to go ahead and do a top end rebuild. So today, a little bit of short time I have, I'm going to try to get the fluids out and get the head took off of it so we can see what kind of piston we're dealing with. Not sure if it's big bore or just stock. With the cams that's in it, been hot cams, I kind of got a suspicion that it might be a big bore. I don't see why anybody would do all that work and have a stock bore. Or they may have a high compressed stock cylinder piston in it. So we want to get into it a little bit here today and see if we can't get some stuff done. Other jobs are going to hinder me up a little bit today. So let's see what we can make happen on this little bit of time I have here. All right, a little update here. I got the fluids drained out of it. I was going to just keep recording here, but I kind of ran into a snag. The owner of this bought this for, and it looked like the motor's been painted. Like he thought it was powder coated, but it's actually rattle can. And this plug here is what, it's just a plug on the side of the head. Helps keep from letting the timing chain slip down into the motor if you're working on the cam area. And whoever painted the motor did not take the plug out when they painted the head. So that was sealed up with paint, and anybody knows aluminum strips really easy. Fortunately, I didn't strip it. It was a little boogered up when I started working on it. Luckily, it didn't strip, but I'm going to tell him he probably should find another one of these, or maybe I can find one here in my spare pile I got. But yeah, that needs to change for sure, because the next time you go to get in it, you might not be able to, and they're a pain in the butt to get out when they do strip out. But anyways, we're going to start taking the head off. I got to get the carburetor off of it, out of the way. I got to unhook the header, all the hoses. But yeah, it's not been too bad. But let's see what we can get ourselves into now. Man, this thing's filthy. He said the choke wasn't working, and when I pulled the choke cable out, let's see if I can clean it out. It actually is broke. When I unscrewed the cable from it, there, pieces fell out, and it was just seized up in there. Yeah, this fooler's definitely seen the mud, and that's one of the main reasons I don't really care for mud, especially not deep mud. I mean, it gets up in there, but your carburetor should be like one of the cleanest parts of your bike. Hopefully I can get that piece out. Never really had that problem before on mine or any other ones I've worked on. So hopefully we can let it soak in some penetrating oil or whatever and let it get them threads from unseized up, because that's exactly what's going on. It's seized in the carb. Yeah, this thing's, it gets tougher and tougher the deeper I get down into it. But we'll see what happens from here. Alright, if you're wondering what I'm doing here in the head, we're checking the valve buckets here. They are, we got to measure the old shims that's in these valve buckets so we can get the valves and clearance back in spec. And sometimes you can see on here that there's a number. The intake size was plumb out. And these are the shims here. And on this one, I cannot read nothing on it, so we'll have to go over here to our dial, or our thing here is zeroed out. Come on now. We need to measure how thick these are. Let's see here. Kind of hard to get these things right. .13. I'm gonna say this is probably a 3.15. They just wear down over time, so we'll have to make note of that. So when we can get our right shims when we get the kit in. Hopefully we can get these valve shim back in the spec. If not, the owner's going to have to probably invest in some valves. But we'll see what happens here. Hopefully, because it just came in for valve clearance check and carb clean, and now it's turned into like a full-blown top-end rebuild, and you know, maybe even possible head work. But we'll see. We'll go from there. Okay, now we're at the point where we're about ready to peel the head off. I still got to take off the upper radiator hose and the exhaust, the header there. And let's see, then I'll have 2 bolts there on the outside. Hopefully they come out. And 4 bolts inside the head there that connects the head and jug down to the bottom half of the motor. So we're getting pretty close to seeing what kind of pistons in this thing, so stay tuned. All right, so now I'm to the point where I'm ready to pull the head. I got the exhaust unhooked, the upper radiator hose, the upper motor mounts off, that bolts to the head. So here, within probably the next 10 minutes, I'll know what we got inside this machine as far as the piston. So far it's been pretty smooth. Don't want to jinx myself just yet because you know how things get. Sometimes the head bolts can be a little tricky, but other than that, it's went fairly smooth to this point. The cam journals are really clean in this thing. Usually you have a little bit of scarring on it, so this machine's been took care of as far as oil changes. But the shims that came out from under the valve buckets, they were toast. I mean, one of them, I think it was this intake valve, had like a little bit of a number. I could read a 2 and then an O, and I'm pretty sure it measured out at like 2.68, which would make me think it's a 270 shim. So it's not bad. But yeah, I'm about ready to peel his head off, so let's see what we got. All right, I'm to the point where I'm going to have to call it a day. Got the piston out. It looks pretty good. It does have a little bit of carbon buildup on it, which is typical. Probably because I'm pretty sure it's been ran a little rich for a little too long. But the piston itself, the walls and or the skirts, I should say, look really good. I mean, and the rings still look really good. I'm pretty sure it's a Wiesco piston. I'm gonna look up this number. I don't know if I can get this to show. There's a number on top of the piston there, and the numbers kind of lean towards a Wiesco type number. And the jug here seems to be in really good shape. Let me turn some light on here. So the jug, let me see if I can get it. It's kind of hard to see, but the jug still looks pretty good. There's no lips at the top or anything. It's smooth all the way around, and you can still see a little bit of cross-hatching in it. So that's a good sign. It's always good to see that. So we'll just have to either put a new piston and ring set in it, or just keep the piston he's got, clean it up, and put a set of rings on it, and hone this cylinder and call it a day. I mean, I believe that's probably what I would do if I was him. But it's totally up to him. We'll see what he wants. But I think we're going to stop there today. Got quite a bit accomplished. I got the carb off, the head off. The valves, I'm kind of iffy on them. They kind of look wore out. I mean, they look pretty gummy, and the exhaust valves look awful white. So we definitely had some issues, I think, there. Maybe that's why they're so tight. They look kind of cupped, honestly. But I need to take them out and look and go from there. But other than that, I mean, it's not been too bad. We still got to fiddle with this carburetor here. Sorry about the focus here. It's been stupid today. Yeah, the choke there came out in hundreds of pieces, and it's stuck. So hopefully I can get that out. Maybe I'll have to drill it out or something. It's no fun on that. Anytime you got to break a drill out to get a piece of metal out, it sucks. But I'm at a standstill today. I think UPS has dropped off my shim kit, so that's awesome. We're one step closer to getting this Z back to the trails. Right now, we still got to take the clutch cover off here, remove the brake lever, move that radiator hose. We'll have to pull the clutch out, all that mess, to get that stretch timing chain out and put back in, but we're almost to the phase where we're about ready to start putting this thing back together. and letting it rip down the road. But so hopefully we'll get some more parts in. They're on order, so I don't know when they'll be in, probably later this week. I usually try to get overnight shipping, but you know, with the crap that's going on in the world today, and you know, they're trying to, you know, pick up from the holiday season and get back to the routine of fast deliveries. But we'll see what goes from there. Just stay tuned, and we'll have another episode on this lovely LTZ400. And maybe I can get that one over there, the carburetor back. I didn't fool with it today. Strictly wanted to get this one tore down so we know what we had. But thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.